Afternoon, depending on what side of the world you are. Hold on, there we go. Da-da-da. All right, now back to what I was doing. So, good morning or good afternoon to all of y'all. And so I'm watching the news, and there's a lot of concern and speculation about what's coming up, right? We have the inauguration coming up on the 20th, if I got the dates right, the 21st. And there are a lot of people worried. They're worried for the country. They're worried for the president elect. There's some even worried for the previous president. They're afraid that because he may or may not, hey, what's going on, Cat Attack? Hey, Sway. Hey, Scott. Because I'm going to pull over here because nobody's in the way anyway. They might do something to the outgoing president because he didn't follow whatever he was supposed to, or he kind of did his own thing toward the end there and offended the powers that be. Although it's hard to imagine powers that be greater than like the president of the U.S., but clearly we've been shown that there is other entities and forces out there. Hey, Loretta. Hey, Cha-Cha. One of the things I saw, which was actually a news report, and I believe it was an FBI agent or former agent who was discussing it, was a concern about a disruptive incident, I guess is the best way to put it, between now and the inauguration or something thereabouts. And, the scenario that this individual proposed was multiple individual incidents involving one or two people, kind of the lone wolfy kind of scenario. Hey, Rum Runner. Hey, KP, what's going on? Followed by what could only be described as then a mass cas incident somewhere else. And the whole idea is to basically create a shit show. I don't know another way to put it. And that is actually kind of horrifying when you think about it. Hey, Donald and Loretta and anybody I missed. Hey, Carbon. That's really concerning. By the way, if you have not seen Carbon Q's posts on Instagram, she was on fire this last week and a half. Like the stuff she's finding, it just floors me. So y'all follow her here on YouTube, but go to her Insta. Because she was blowing up. And Carbon, did you get put in the penalty box at all? Because like I saw you a bunch, and then you went real quiet, and then I saw more, and I didn't know if they put you in jail for a day or what happened. Because they do that to me all the time. Instagram, especially when I go after child traffickers. For whatever reason, they go right after me the minute I bring up trafficking. They've put me in jail a couple of times. I can sit there and talk about porn and drugs and crack and whatever other awful things, and that's fine. Minute all the time, 100%. The minute the minute I go after the human traffickers, they go after me, and they put me in the penalty box. And holy cow, that's a big truck. Okay, this is a AC Company's van that has all the has all those doors on the side for all their equipment. Man, you get one of those in 4x4, that would be a hellacious prepper van. I'm just wondering if they sell those things like aftermarket or, like a used utility vehicle. You know what I'm talking about? That would be cool as shit because you could put all your goodies in there. It has all sorts of doors. The ride must be terrible, but that's interesting. But anyway, back to my subject. I saw that guy drive by. I'm like, man, I could have fun with that vehicle. Yeah. No, Green Thumb, they don't want me talking about it because I guess I'm interrupting their money chain. But going back to my original subject, so this analyst was stating one of their concerns, and Sean Ryan had the CIA lady, and she said the same thing. Multiple small events to cause confusion and set up a larger series of events. Some people were speculating the Los Angeles fires were part of that. or dry run, no pun intended, like some kind of test run to see how we'd respond to something like that. But you think about that, those fires pretty much shut down California, which is one of our biggest states, and attracted a lot of assets, a lot of money and resources. Imagine that fire or those fires happening at the same time as, I don't know, a 9/11 on the East Coast, and a bunch of active shootings in the South, and I don't know, someone blowing up a power station in Minnesota during the winter, all of those things happening at once. And you touched on the organ harvesting. Yeah, that's another rabbit hole I went down on Instagram. They put me in jail too. I think that one they got me was medical misinformation. I'm like, no, that's not quite conspiracy theory. Okay, I would have accepted that. Like, okay, I went off into the boonies, but they got me on medical misinformation. I'm like, don't donate your organs. I don't know, whatever the hell they thought that was. But how do you prepare for something like that? I mean, think about it. Chances are, if there's some kind of lone wolfy stuff going on, followed by a massive event, and you get caught in it, chances are you're not at home. And again, this is why I started this channel, was because think about your day, right? Now, a lot of you guys are fortunate enough, you live and work very close together, or your work is your home, like you have a farm or a homestead or something like that. But yeah, well, also Green Thumb, the economic pain from California being on fire is, we're not going to see that. Hey, Canadian, long time no see. We may not see that for months, like how that's going to affect the economy. But think about it. If you have multiple events, most people, if you're not fortunate enough to live and work very close to your work and home are very close together, or in the same place, like in a farm, most of us are commuting anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour every day. You think of the big population centers, right? New York, Chicago, LA, Houston, Dallas. That's an hour commute minimum. For even if you take the subway in New York, it's an hour. Unless you really get up early and catch that early F train into Manhattan, you're just screwed. So an hour to work, an hour back. So it's 2 hours. Say you're working a 40-hour week. So it's 8 hours minus your lunch, but you're gone 8 hours, right? So you work from 8 to 5 plus 2 hours. That's 10 hours of your 24-hour day. You're not at home. So that's almost half of your day. I drive a dump truck to work. Benefit from me if the roads are closed. Nothing is going to stop me from getting home. See, and that's where I'm going with this. You got to think a little creatively, right? Now, Green Thumb, for instance, especially, and I forgot what part of the country you're in, but if you have a snowplow on a dump truck, like you're doing snow duty, because I used to see that a lot up north, you can clear some roads with that damn thing. Like, it was meant to make the road available to everyone. It's getting expensive. It's getting expensive everywhere, buddy. Okay, thanks, Canadian. Okay, a garbage truck will definitely clear roads. Dump trucks, same thing, all those big vehicles. But you have to start thinking, okay, do I need to have a go bag? Like, and this is a great point, if you have a work vehicle, right? So you drive, say, your personal vehicle to work, and then you get in your work vehicle, your dump truck, your hauler, whatever it is. Should you have a smaller get-home bag in your work truck so you can get back to the office and get your big bag so you can get home? Like, we might have to start thinking a little more modularly, if that makes sense. Okay, so you definitely get snow up there. I went to college in upstate New York, and I think all of us get that fun lake effect snow. I've actually followed the big trucks to get back and forth, because they could see way more than I could in my little 4x4. You may want to start thinking along those lines. If you're going to go to an event, right? Because if you can avoid large crowds, that's great. Hey, Kim, all the big ones have left. Yeah, Google has not renewed its lease. Oh, that's bad. And San Francisco is such a pretty city, but again, it's if you don't manage the city right, it has problems. Like if they were back to what they were in the 80s and 90s, where it's law and order and it was a clean city, that would be a fun town. That's sad, but yeah. Um, okay, you do have a get home bag. If you can avoid those big events like the inauguration, like, whatever parades, crowds, stuff like that. We saw it in Bourbon Street. We saw it overseas in the German Christmas markets. You get in a big crowd, it becomes a very attractive target. It becomes very lucrative to certain people. But I mean, we live our life, right? We can't just hide under the bed. So we go out, all of us do. So start thinking, do I have amenities in my vehicle? If I can't, for whatever reason, say you're traveling with someone else and they're driving, can you compress your get home bag or your day bag into a backpack, something small? Hey, Teresa. Hey, Kim. Um, we need to start thinking a little bit out of the box, because if you have cascading events, right? You have individuals, say like this one FBI agent said, you have active shooters in 5 or 6, 10 places across the country, and then 1 or 2 big events. They're going to shut down airports, shut down railroads. They're going to close up highways. They're going to pull up police checkpoints. Start thinking, okay, if I'm at work and they shut us down, how do I get home if I can't drive? Do you have a thought or a plan? I know one person actually has one of those fold-up bikes, those funky ones, in their SUV with a chain lock to one of the little eyelets. And this person actually said, I know I can drive home in an hour, I can bike home in 3, barring any major like nuclear attack or something crazy like that. My dad's best friend was from Cali. People there got cease and desist orders for them when they were clearing brush before the weekend before the fire. Oh, unbelievable. But you can start thinking, I mean, buying a fold-up bike made of titanium is expensive as shit. I will tell you that right now. I don't have one because of that. But you can have bikes at home, right? You can get a used bike somewhere at the pawn shop. You can start thinking, okay, if I have to walk home, which way am I going to go? What's the safest route? And the safest route may not be the direct route, right? If you're in downtown Houston and you walk, say, to the Beltway, which is the middle highway that goes around Houston, it's kind of like a pinwheel, Houston. That middle loop, that's about 30 miles. So if you're walking 3 miles an hour, I'm just spitballing the distances, that's 10-hour walk. That's a lot of walking. And that's assuming you don't stop. You don't stop to get water. You don't stop to pee. You don't stop to get food. You just walk for 10 hours. Realistically, even if you're in good shape, that's a lot. It's assuming the weather's nice. It's not raining on you. It's not blowing. People aren't having a riot. There's no fire, no flood. Just a straight happy walk on a nice day is 8 to 10 hours. And people don't think about that. If you live in Manhattan and you have to walk to Queens, that's about 7 hours on Apple Maps. And that's just a computed, and you don't stop. But if you have a bike, it's 2.5 hours to the outskirts of Queens and the suburbs. So that's a big game changer, right? That's like a third of the time. 1 for each bug out bag. Oh shoot, I lost this. Sorry, I lost the. Oh no, Donald. Be able to hoof it with your stuff and remember comfortable shoes. Yes. So I keep a broken pair of older hiking boots in my truck with another set of socks, which people don't appreciate. A good set of socks, plus my bag, plus some cash in the wallet, that kind of stuff. You don't want to have to walk across Manhattan, across Chicago, across anywhere in ladies' heels. Even men's business shoes, the hard bottom shoes, there's some really comfy ones. Most of them are not comfy for hikes. That's not what they're meant for. They're meant to commute to and from the workplace, and that's it. Do you have a pair of hiking boots? Even some old sneakers that still have some tread on them. would be better than having to walk in formal shoes. Yay, Joe. Glad to see you, bud. Keeping, let's see. Consider the footwear when you're walking that far. Yes, the footwear is going to be a big deal. Also, jacket. Do you have an extra jacket or a blanket, a poncho in your vehicle? And this is just common sense. Hell, you could just break down going from A to B and get caught in the rain and you have to walk to a garage 2 miles away. It's nice to have a rain jacket so you don't get soaked on the way. I don't like leaving my yard. No, and fair, a lot of folks are in a position they don't have to leave home very often, but for those who do, you need to start thinking about that. And also, like, if, for instance, you live near Washington, and I'm using Washington, D.C. as an example, during Inauguration Day, I'd stay at home. I'm working remote. I would just tell the boss, oh, the traffic's going to be bad. It's a safety issue. That's an HSE issue. Stay at home. Work from home for that day so you're not in the crowd. You know, if you gotta go to work, then plan accordingly. When I had an office in Houston, you know, I was an hour commute when I did go to the office, because I float, so I wasn't always there every day. In my desk, I actually had a locking desk, and I had a little kit. I had snacks, I had water bottles, I had a canteen, I had some outdoor shit. It was a little, like a baby bug out bag. I don't know how to describe it. So if I wound up driving there, for some reason I couldn't get back to my truck, sorry, my son. Oh man, yeah, Joe's got some scars from, well, you've had an exciting life, brother. But yeah, if you can't get back to your vehicle and get to your big bag, at least you have something there. Or if you have to hunker down at the office. Hey, Virginia, what's going on? We'll be in warm Texas. I don't know, it's been cold down here, Virginia. It was 27 this morning. I mean, it's not as cold as like Canada, but, or even further north, but depending on what part of Texas, West Texas is flat. We have the Davis Mountains, and then it's just flat till you hit like Abilene and Weatherford, Texas, and the wind just goes through you. Nothing stops it. Then you hit the hill country and it breaks up the wind again. Yeah, I would watch from Dr. Sam struggles in the red hand. I lost that one. Hey, Watchman. I highly recommend, think about how you would be ready if you get caught during one of these larger events, the inauguration, a parade, whatever the hell it is. And when you get up, and I'm guilty of this also, you get up in the morning, you put your clothes on, get your stuff, and you go to work. Don't just go to work. Check the traffic, and also check the news. What's going on today? If I know there's going to be construction, if I know something's going to be going on in the downtown area, if I can get out of going to downtown to get caught in that, whether it's the Houston Rodeo or the Macy's Day Parade in New York or whatever the hell, Christmas parade, or some other event, try to avoid it if you can. But if you are going to go and attend, right, because we go to these things, what do you have in your vehicle? Keep some extra water in your vehicle. Have that bag stocked. Have a little extra cash in case the power goes out. It doesn't have to be a terror attack, right? It could just be bad weather takes the power down. It happens. But really, that's very hard to prep for when you have multiple things going on around the country. Again, imagine the Los Angeles fires and 9/11 and the Christmas parade attack all happening at the same time. Look how confused people got between the Vegas guy and New Orleans. And the Vegas guy apparently was trying to send a message and actually wasn't trying to hurt anyone other than himself, apparently, and we still question that. The New Orleans guy clearly wanted to hurt people. But imagine 10 lone wolf attacks all at once. You can't predict that. It's really hard, and you can't just live in a state of fear. So what you do, you kind of prep in a modular way. If I'm going out and I know the weather's going to be cold, I'm going to take a few different things with me for the day than I would if I know it's going to be hot. Um, oh, hey, Devil Dog, no worries. So folks, try to plan accordingly, and it's not just for, terrorism, is it? Things happen. Tornadoes happen. Fires happen. Accidents happen. You could get on a highway and there's a big tractor trailer wreck for no reason other than someone's an idiot, and now you're stuck on the highway for 3 hours. Do you have a snack? Do you have anyone who's diabetic who may need to eat while you're sitting there stuck for 3 hours? These are the little things you want to think about while you're traveling, even if your travel is from work to home and back, or you're visiting family. But yeah, GMRS radio, if you can, is absolutely a good idea. CB doesn't hurt. Keeping your phones charged as much as you can all day, also good things. You have no idea how many people I'll meet for dinner, for a business dinner, and in the middle of dinner, they're like, shit, my phone died. I'm like, did you not plug it in all day? Plug the damn thing in. You drove here, plug it in while you're driving. They don't think, because they're not expecting it. And what you want to be is the person who's not caught in the herd of panic, in the stampede of panic. You want to be the one who says, you know what, I'm going to stay in my office for 12 hours. I have snacks, I have a bathroom, I have water, I have clothes. I'm going to hunker down right here. And also, we talked about it on the Four Horsemen the other night with Hudson Valley, Livingston Man, and Vision. Hey, little chicken. What was this fool? What is that? Oh, yeah, well. All right, well, you can... I don't know what the hell that's about, but you can go to Shaboba if you're going to say weird shit. In any case, folks, plan accordingly. And thank you, Devil Dog. Plan accordingly. Plan modular. Don't freak out. It may be as simple as simply repacking what you already have so you can take certain pieces with you. Hey, Little Lone. Hey, Scott. Take little pieces with you if you have to leave your vehicle. Hey, Frag Grenade. Being prepared on the road without being paranoid. I don't know if that makes sense. There are a lot of analysts talking about the possibility prior to the inauguration day of multiple cascading issues being initiated, but we can't predict it, so how do you prepare for it? You know what I mean? But plan accordingly. And, well, so logistics, not so much logistics, although that comes into it, but more along the lines of, if you're commuting to work and something happens downtown, say you're downtown Houston, where do you have what you need in your vehicle to hoof it back home for 2, 3, 4, 5 hour walk? If not, do you know where resources are on the way? If you have to leave your vehicle, can you take a portion of what you have in your vehicle kind of as your ready kit? If I don't know if you're military, like kind of like a baby assault pack, but without bringing too much attention to yourself. I mean, this could be something as simple as a bad accident that shuts down a highway for 5 hours, which we see all the time. And now you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, but you can't get off the highway. So have you planned for that? Do you have granolas? Do you have anything at work in case you can't leave your office? And do you have a plan already in place where you tell like the wife or the kids, look, something happens, all of your asses go home. If I'm at the office, I'm staying there for 12 hours. All right. So in any case, folks, plan accordingly, no paranoia. Instead, think about if you have a get home bag, if you have a bug out bag, whatever type of bag you have for your situation, can you modularize it if you have to leave it, or if you have to maybe go with someone else and then come back to your vehicle? Can you take portions of it with you and not be too conspicuous? So, see, water's tough. So there are a couple of schools of thought. For me personally, I live where my job, I sometimes go to a remote location. If I know I'm going remote, I'll actually stop at the store and get like a 12-pack of bottled water. But in my get home bag, I actually have an empty, it's not a Yeti, it's like a big ass water bottle. I don't remember the brand. I put my water filter, the little Sawyer, inside, but I can take it out. And I can, if I need to abandon the truck, I can fill the water bottle and take it with me and throw the extras in my pack. I also, hard to plan when you feel like you could have a brain aneurysm. I'm not sure right now. Okay, yeah, it's tough out there for sure, but try to plan accordingly. As far as the water, you can also bring a Camelback and fill your water. Well, that would be for home, 20 gallons, if because you don't want to hoof it. But what you could do, if you have an office and you have a locker or a lockable office or a lockable desk, you can put a case of water in there if you have to hunker down at the office till you figure out your next move. Be there till I might have canned beer ration. Hey, a flask or some beer is never a bad idea. But folks, start thinking about that. Don't freak out. Instead, plan modular. If I have to leave the vehicle and I have to be fast and I can't take all the shit in the car with me, or if someone else is driving so I can't bring my get home bag in their car, right? You go to work and then we're going with someone else to another third location for work. What can you pull out of your car that's not too conspicuous? My computer bag is my EDC, and it's also my carry-on bag in the airport. And I've actually gotten stopped by TSA because I can't bring water through. I have to buy water on the other side. But I have Israeli bandage. I have a tourniquet. I have flashlights. I have everything that's TSA allowed in my bag. And they've actually opened it up and looked at it. And I'm like, is there a problem? And they've told me, no, this is actually really cool. He said maybe 1 out of 30 people will be set up like you. And I'll tell them, I was a guardsman. And they're like, yeah, technically we're supposed to have everything you have in there. We should have in our bag too. And then one guy scolded the other guy for not having it. So apparently I busted someone inadvertently. But start thinking along those lines, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, a little modular. Be able to modify yourself for different situations. In the event something happens between now and the inauguration, whether it's natural, man-made, and you get caught away from home, or you get caught at the office, you get caught on the highway, those are going to be really tough things to prep for. So don't be panicked about it. Instead, think about, how would I get around it? Get a little bit creative. Green Thumb was like, I drive a garbage truck, or a dump truck, I'll drive it home. Right? He can push vehicles out of the way with that thing. Something like that. Do you know where the golf carts are for the golf course? Do you have a bike at the office you can ride home if you have to leave your car? Just think like that. But look, I'll leave you guys with that. I burned up a little bit of lunch hour. They canceled. I was supposed to have a lunch meeting, but they canceled on me, so I'm with you guys. But, oh, cool. What part of Texas? That'll be fun. All y'all coming down. But look, folks, you guys be careful, be smart out there. Don't panic, don't freak out. Think it through. If it happens, how would I want to be ready for that? And other than that, you guys be careful, be safe out there, and stay out of trouble. Oh, I will text you later, Devil Dog. We'll see you guys later.